Okay, folks, welcome to another Sunday Night Futures Live. Thanks for joining me. So, what we're looking at,
Everyone thinks making 2% per month in the stock market is phenomenal,
what the
and
heck was
that's
that?
a best case.
Okay. What we're looking at here is a 4-hour chart, NASDAQ 100, actually 15-minute chart. We're gapping up here just shy of a third of a percentage point. This is going to be a volatile week. I could sense it. Small caps also gapping up about just shy of a quarter percentage point. We'll come back to silver. Let's go to the S&P 500. Up about a quarter percentage point. Let's check out bonds. Bonds are flat. Nothing happening here. I think the big story of the day is Bitcoin. It was up earlier above the 10,000 mark. It couldn't hold it. It's a bit extended, but I think I'm going to make the case that Bitcoin's a buy tonight, because what we're going to talk about is inflation, how the Federal Reserve is denying it, and that the signals, the markers are all over the place. And now the market is beginning to wake up to the fact that the dollar's tanking, GDP, if you want to take a look at what is stagflation, which is the environment that we're in right now, all you need to do is check your boxes. Declining GDP, check. Unemployment rising, check. Earnings declining, check. Inflation, they don't want to admit it, but it's rising, and we have proof. So all four of those boxes checked. Franklin, hello. Ideally, yes, another good trading week. TA, Chuck, hello. Same to you, Chuck. Joseph, how are you, sir? Elliott Wave Theory, I appreciate Elliott Wave Theory. Do I get into it all that much? No. Paul Tudor Jones, I know, is big into it. That's how I was introduced to it. So I appreciate it in the fact that it's based upon historical pricing and repeating patterns. And I get that intuitively, but no, I don't use it all that much. I don't study it per se. Will, hello. Stormy. It's been stormy of late, but a really beautiful weekend, I'll tell you that. Very hot, yes. AMD, INTC. Hey, Gary. Oliver, thank you. Smash the like button, please. Thank you. I would forget. Boeing, yep. TA, still wishing at 6,100 mark. Yeah, I could see that. Inverse head and shoulder setup on Bitcoin, yeah. Tony, hello. Hey, Trish. Okay. Robert, hi. Biotech's rough week last week. I don't know whether or not, I don't know that they're going to be a buy this week. We'll check it out. But really rough week last week on a whole. And I don't think I covered it yesterday on the week ahead, for that matter. Space, sure, we can cover that. For disclosure purposes, I do have a position in it. And let's get to it. All right, so Bitcoin, I'm going to go to a higher level view on. It's behaving very, very well. What really matters to me is the monthly chart, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Oil, flat, nothing really happening here. Gold, the monster that it is. No new weekly high yet. But it looks like we're on our way. I mean, we're a stone's throw away from all-time highs. In fact, last week was the first week that we closed above 1900 for the first time ever. Even though we have yet to hit all-time highs, first time with a close, weekly base is above 1900. Copper, very strong of late, consolidating. I was asked a question, you know, with us being in a declining GDP, no growth, contracting growth, why would copper be going up? Well, you have a couple of reasons. One is that you're going to see build out, whether it's reflected in copper yet or not, I'm not sure. But Vietnam, India, Malaysia, countries like that are going to be built out because they're going to take advantage of China's loss of manufacturing. But also, you need to keep an eye on the U.S. dollar. I mean, the dollar, commodities need not have growth to increase in price. All that you need to happen is for the dollar to weaken, and that just means it takes more dollars to buy those commodities. And that's exactly what you're seeing. Weak dollar, rising commodities, and God forbid demand comes back, and you're just going to see them skyrocket. Cattle. I mean, if you take a look at a monthly chart, or let's go to a weekly chart. We've broken out here on cattle. So that's your protein trade. You want hogs? You have a breakout there. What else? What do we want to look at? Corn. Corn is broken out, pulling back, retesting. Oats. It's corrected, but we're threatening higher lows now. And God forbid we begin to break out to new higher highs on these ag names. So the longer term trade for us, precious metals, raw materials, agriculture. Very simple. I don't want to be in US dollars. Think about it. If you held cash last week, you lost 1.5% on your money. Think about it. It's sitting in a bank account, maybe earning, if you're lucky, a smidgen of interest that you have to pay taxes on, but inflation's eating it away, and you can't hold cash anymore. Home heating oil, I haven't looked at this one in a while. We're off the lows. Soybeans, no real breakout yet, but we've stopped going down. That's for certain. Let's go back, take a quick peek. Are we gaining strength on, we'll just go to the NASDAQ 100 since they've been the leadership group. We've pulled back. So the thing to keep in mind is that we broke down below support on the 23rd. We spent the remainder of last week and now this evening trying to recapture prior support. It's now acting as resistance. So this turns green. So I'll be looking to see whether or not we take out the session lows Hey, Tommy. Hey, Pat. Sam, hello. Sam's from Italy. For whatever reason, I have to say that every single time the poor guy's on. Okay. All right. So we went through commodities. We went through equities. We'll come back prior to signing off. Let's just go through some charts. Now, we're talking about Bitcoin, and we'll come back to gold. I want to bring up the Prings inflation index. And you can see, now, the Prings inflation index is not the same as the CPI, the consumer price index, or the PPI, the producer price index. The PRI is a basket of mining stocks, inflationary names that do well during inflationary times. And you can see last week, it ripped up over 5% in 1 week alone. You can see gold breaking out along with it. Now, when you measure Bitcoin relative to the Prings inflation index, they trade in tandem. Bitcoin is an inflation trade. And that's the way I'm seeing it right now. For those looking to get involved, it's clear. I mean, when we saw a pullback in Bitcoin, we saw a pullback in the mining sector. There was a period of deflation. Then, earlier in the year, we were hit with deflation because of COVID. We pulled back on Bitcoin in a very big way. And so did the Prings inflation index. Now, the Prings inflation index is bouncing back, and Bitcoin is threatening to break out. And here's Bitcoin versus the consumer price index, overlaid in dotted silver or dotted gray. And here's the correlation. They correlate nearly 70% of the times. So when you take a look at Bitcoin, we're getting ready for a breakout here, because the Federal Reserve has zero intention about raising rates and managing inflation. Now, gold, this is a quarterly chart. You can see that we're just a stone's throw away from new all-time highs. We could be there this week. Now, one of the names I had on best stock charts for the coming week is the DBA. Invesco, let me go to my annotated view. Here's a monthly chart. Long-term bear market, right? The first step to any bear market ending is that the sector, the name, the commodity, the stock, it needs to stop going down. And we put in a bottom last month. We've been consolidating for several months. This month, we have an inside month of bullish key reversal bar. I think we're going to break out very, very soon on agriculture. I think a year from now, if you're not exposed to commodities in some form, some fashion, you're going to be looking back and say, Jesus Christ, I missed the boat. Even with gold nearing all-time highs, it's relative to where we were in 2011, the last time it hit all-time highs, our debt is triple of what it was back then. It's insanity. So this is only going to go higher. What's a good entry point for Bitcoin? I would like to see this. I have two charts. Maybe it's three. Where is it? Yeah, this is it. So it's actually a weekly chart. We broke out above this secondary downtrend line last week. Actually, this may be this week. This may represent today's price action. Let's validate that. No, it's last week. So we broke out above resistance, secondary resistance level. Right here is around 10,000 thereabouts. I'd like to see a close above that mark. I would nibble, wait for the retest of support, nibble more, and then add more on a continuation breakout on Bitcoin. So that's the play. Beautiful cup handle formation, a little bit exaggerated to the downside. But this is a very, very nice chart. I haven't spoken about Bitcoin much because it just hasn't interested me. Now it's becoming extremely interesting, especially with gold rallying, the dollar tanking, and it looks like the dollar is only going to get worse. And what does that mean? Inflation. All right, Sam. Himanshu, hello? Hey, Anthony. Okay. Now, what we don't want to be a part of is the financials, which closed up last week. I just don't want to be exposed to financials. Okay, let's take some requests. First of all, I just want to see anything that's hit the headlines. Nothing. All right. So just going back to the DBA really quick. Oh, by the way, I'm using TrendSpider, next generation artificial or automated technical analysis. New to technical analysis, don't know how to draw a trend line? Practice, then validate your accuracy. Click these buttons. They do it automatically for you. Use the link below, 35% off using that discount code. All right, so the DBA is poised for a breakout. What you're seeing here on a weekly chart is monthly resistance in dashed line. That's where we just broke. Yep. We're negative now on the NASDAQ 100. Looking to see if there's anything behind that initial selling. Okay. Not much behind it yet. We'll see. Okay. Not a good open. All right. Going back to the DBA, we're looking for a breakout above this monthly resistance level. Then it's game on for agriculture. Loving the Stokes, loving RSI. We'll probably be long of the DBA some point in time this week. And as a longer term position, speaking of the VIX, still down below 30. Okay. So DBA looking good here. Let's take some requests. Will AMD. You know, what can you say about AMD? Monster breakout, weekly basis. Daily chart, it's extended. I wouldn't buy it here. I think you're going to pull back, quite possibly to fill this gap, especially if we open up down tomorrow. I could see the shares easily pulling back. I would like to see them touch the support level. There we go. There we go. Look at the volume bars building. This is a 5-minute chart now. Okay. Keep that active for the week. So this is when I would be interested in AMD at around 62.60. Looking good. Intel. Not loving it. The best that could be said is that it held support. I think we went out oversold. Yeah, it's probably going to pop early this week, but I think they're going to fade it. RSI on a 2-hour basis at 15.74. So I'm pretty confident they'll rally it off of this support level here. But I think that the rally is going to fail. It's going to fade. especially if the rest of technology goes along with it. So I would avoid Boeing. We do have a position in Boeing for disclosure purposes. You know, I like the fact on a daily chart, we're holding a breakout. It's not wonderful price action, lots of topping action. Every time they try to put together a rally, sellers move in, a lot of overhead supply above. So I certainly wouldn't add here right now. But if we begin to break out above resistance on a daily basis, so this topping action here, that's the market sending you a signal that there are sellers above. So I wouldn't want to fight those guys until we broke out above it. I'm not loving the Stokes here. I do like RSI. We broke out, pulled back, retested, rallied, pulled back, retested. We're holding. So as long as we don't break. But I wouldn't add more here, right now. Because if the market continues to weaken up, we're catching some bids now. If the market weakens up, then I'd be worried about Boeing. Because the transports, don't forget about what happened with the transports last week. The transports and this is why we pay attention to multi-period charts, multi-time frame charts. The transports on a daily, I'm going to look under D for Dow, on a weekly basis. They broke out the week prior to last, very bullish week, strong week. Last week, they failed to hold the breakout. Breakout point failure, not good. I'm worried about a lower high here on, this will be the third consecutive lower high on the transports. Take note, you're seeing this across the board. If you use the ultimate oscillator, you're seeing a negative divergence across the board, whether it be the NASDAQ 100, whether it be the S&P 500, whether it be the Dow Transports. You're seeing this setup all over the place, a negative divergence. Not good. So just be careful. Biotechs. Let's see, what do we use? We'll use the BBH. Rough week last week. Here, and this is what worries me. This type of price action is just bad. It's an outside reversal month or week, a bearish engulfing week. It implies that in all probability we're going lower this coming week. Now, I would have bet you a nickel prior to the Federal Reserve and Treasury's insane monetary policy that we would have fallen down next week to new lower lows on the week. However, you don't know what rabbit they're going to apply to their bag of tricks next. So, in all probability, we should see, in a normalized world, normalized technical analysis, we should see a lower low this coming week. Volume rose. So I don't want to hope that we're going to hold the support level when I should fear. And right now, were I looking to buy biotechs, I would be very, very fearful. I have to go into my members dashboard and see if there were requests in there. There usually are a bunch of them. Yep. Okay, HMY for Yancey. Is that Harmony Gold? Let's see how good I am. Haha. Love it. What's not to like? The only thing I'm going to say here, I'm very, very bullish on the gold stocks. We own them. I like them. We don't own Harmony. We may as a junior miner, and we own the GDXJ, so it probably has Harmony in there. So Harmony at current on the month is trading well above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. I'm very bullish on gold and the gold stocks, but they're very extended. And that's what we've been scaling out a bit. Weekly chart, very beautiful chart. I mean, we closed at the highs of the week. Very powerful. I think the place to enter is if we get a rally in the dollar, which will be short term, or a rally in yields, and you get a pullback on the miners, you got to back up the truck. And that's it. Set it and forget it. Daily chart. We broke out on the 17th. We pulled back, did a retest. What did we do on Friday? We broke out. We're probably going higher. A very nice chart. Home. At home group. Not a ton of monthly data here. We're trading down below the 20-period moving average on a monthly basis. That's a declining ceiling. Stokes, RSI going in the right direction, monthly basis, good stuff. This is the last trading week of the month. A beautiful breakout last week. We closed above resistance, this pivot point right here, which formed the week of June the 22nd. Very nice. You're probably going to get a pullback and a retest of 8.47. You're looking to buy. That's where I put my limit order in. And you keep your stop loss right below it. Very little risk, lots of upside reward. Daily chart. Daily chart showing some resistance above. It's not stiff resistance. I really wouldn't worry about it all too much. All it is really an extrapolation of only a few data points. I wouldn't worry about it all too much. I think it's going higher. But it's speculative. And there you go. What else do we have here? SILJ. Was that Silver Jr.? Yep. Beautiful. Love it. We're going to keep this one active for a while because we're looking for a retest going out into next week, next month. Very nice. Weekly chart. We just crashed up last week through 2 resistance levels. Daily chart. A little bit more resistance here. Silver's got a lot of catching up to do relative to gold. I think it's going up higher. Might we retest? Sure, I hope we do. That's a great entry point. Nothing not to like here. Very bullish. IYR, I believe that's construction or real estate. Boom. Nailed it. All right. The I expected a bit better of a chart because the daily chart looked pretty good. Monthly chart, not so good. See all this volume here? What this is telling you is that there's a huge tug of war at this price point. And the problem is that on a weekly basis, we broke down below support. Middle of no man's land here. I want to like it. Interesting. We have a breakout on RSI. You have an indicator leading price performance on a weekly basis. But you can't buy just simply based on that. You know, if we touch this lower band, I would be interested then and there. The only reason why I would be interested in this sector is because I know exactly where I want to get out, right? So if we hit the support level and it holds, but then we move on and we break it, well, I'm out. right? I'm not going to go in if my goal is to buy 1,000 shares of IYR. I'm not going to go in if we hit the support level and buy 1,000 shares. I'm going to buy 100, 200, and see if I'm right. If I'm right, and we begin to break out, I'll buy another 100, 200. If we break down, I'm not going to buy another 100, 200. I'm going to stop out. So that's the psychology. That's the logic. Now, I'd be really interested if they were able to put together enough strength to break it out. I'm going to keep this active a little bit longer because it's going to take longer to break it out above this upper band of resistance. If they could do that, that's strength. I like to buy strength. So that's the game here. Open here, 77.14. Hold, wait, stop loss right below. Add more on a breakout above this upper band of resistance. And add more above resistance point breakouts. Like right here, and especially above here. Daily chart. Yeah, you can see it keeps getting rejected on a daily basis. You know, they broke it out on the 22nd. No follow through. So with these types of trades, you know, when you were waiting for a recovery, I just set my alerts. I forget about them. I don't want to buy them in hope. I just don't want to do it. Let them come to me. If they come down to my support level and it gets triggered, fine. I'll do the trade. But other than that, I won't remember this chart tomorrow morning. It'll be on my list here. If it fires off, it fires off. No emotion involved. SRRK, that's for Tony. Looks more of a short to me than anything else. Huge amount of resistance above. I mean, if we break to a new monthly low next month, the path of least resistance is to the downside. I would look to the short side. Weekly chart. Not good. See, we have daily support. We bounced off of it. But if it fails, this is a short. You have RSI on a daily basis, which is at 19.29. You know, it's quote unquote, yes, overbought. I mean, but if we break that support level, you could see RSI 15 on this thing easy. Then I would be interested in it. If we see RSI, the problem here is that, you know, if we saw RSI 15, the only thing I don't like is that we don't have a huge amount of data going back providing us historical support. I think the only time I would be interested in these shares is we see RSI well down below, probably below 15, and at $7 a share. And the way you trade these extreme oversold stocks is a completely different ball game that we do, and we do it well. But until we come down to that price point, I don't want to know about it as a long. As a short, maybe if we break down to a new weekly low or monthly low, yeah, I might entertain it. And it's definitely not a long right now, to me anyway. Wing for Tommy M. Wing stop. At resistance, being rejected. It's at the top of its trading range. I think you need to wait for a pullback to, at a bare minimum, depending upon the market, a couple of spots. One, the rising 20-period moving average. Two, which I like better, 73.57. That's a big drop from where we're at right now. The lower band of this trading range is a lot lower. And here's another option. At support, this will be interesting. Weekly chart. There's a furious battle going on at these resistance levels. I'm going to overlay monthly resistance on top here, and it'll come up as dashed line. It's hard to see, but it's there. It coincides with this green line. I don't think we really need it. So this is monthly resistance in green here, and what appears to be an even more formidable resistance level above. I wouldn't buy here. I couldn't buy here. I would wait for a pullback. Daily chart. Nice bounce on Friday. Not enough to get me excited about the trade. The market's sending you signals that there's a lot of sellers above here. So not enough reward for the risk I'd have to put on to take this trade. So I would be interested in it right here, right now. Now, again, going back to the monthly chart, you see retracement down to this support level. Then that gets all sorts of interesting. So we'll revisit it if we get alerted. All right. Taking a look at the comments here. Codex. Thanks, Gary. Boeing earnings this week. Monster monthly chart. But you are seeing topping tails. Stokes are beginning to break out of resistance. RSI has already done so. Price, nice. Resistance. I think that I even have, oh, it's expired, this alert. All right, let's change this. Get rid of it. Codex. And keep this active for the week. Create. We're good. The only other time I would be interested in Kodaks is if we ultimately break through and there you go. I wouldn't buy it right here, right now. The market's sending you a signal that there's resistance above. Daily chart, yeah. I would wait for the pullback or the breakout. Mixture of both, possibly. Nibble here, add more on a breakout above resistance. LABD, yeah, that is the biotech bear ETF, the opposite of LABU. I don't know. I don't know yet about it. If we break new weekly support, nice daily chart, I'll tell you that. We broke out. It looks interesting. We're at the lower band of the trading range. Stokes are beginning to hook up. RSI is as well. We closed right at resistance. Okay. We'll keep it active for the week. I wouldn't buy it right here, right now. But yes, it had a very, very bearish. LABU had a bearish week last week. This had a bullish week, as you would expect. That's my take. What else we got? PFE. Can't buy it here. A lot of resistance above. It's certainly not a short, but it's got to close above 38.83. To warrant putting money to work here. I mean, the Stokes look good. Little W formation action going. We broke out, which is nice. Higher lows on RSI. No breakout yet, though. Weekly chart. Attempted a breakout last week. Failed. What did I do? So, it's interesting. I mean, the key is that it's got to break out and close above this resistance level. As a matter of fact, let's loosen this up a bit. Okay. So we're good to go. Pfizer, right here. Good. What else do we have? Baba Pops, thank you. Washington DRV. REI. Okay. Tommy, I got your wing, right? REI. It's broken out on monthly basis. Little doji action so far this month. Sign of indecision. I'm torn on the monthly chart, so I'm going to punt here. A lot of resistance above. Ugh. How much data is on this chart? A lot. Okay. A lot of resistance above. Sorry about the silence. I'm torn on this one. The weekly resistance has gotten in my head. I don't mind saying that. All right. I like it's bouncing off of support. It's holding it. We have a monthly breakout, weekly breakout. We have some resistance above. Let's overlay on top of the daily chart, weekly resistance. Boom. Now I can move forward. All right. We're at the lower band of support. I think that the shares could be nibbled on, assuming that you're going to use a stop loss right below. Then, once we break out and above, resistance you could add more. Nibble here, nibble more on a breakout, allow for a retest. You want to nibble a little bit more there, great. Then add more on the continuation move up higher. What else do we have? Nicola. Richard, hey, how you doing, man? All right, Nicola we're long of. We bought it on Friday when they gapped it down to our support level. We were looking for a 29 handle. We got the 29 handle. I just want to take a quick look at the small caps, see how they're behaving. This is only a 5-minute chart. flat. All right, so listen, if we close out the day on Monday at or above this support level here at, let's call it 20, what was the low of the day? 29.23. If we close with a 29 handle on Monday, especially above 29.23, I would be okay with nibbling on a position. If it breaks, I would wait for 20, what was my number? 26.63. That's not it. Let's go to a weekly chart. Where's my Nico chart? I think it's 26.63. God damn it. They're selling it off again. You know, it really means nothing right now. Usually you're going to get a call over to Treasury, and the Treasury makes a call over to the Federal Reserve to start buying up futures at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning. So now we're down a third. We were up a third. Now we're down a third. Okay. Nikola. Before we were rudely interrupted. Where is it? Yeah. Here we go. I knew I wasn't losing it. Right here. Support at 26.28. So, if we break to a new weekly low this week, look for 26.28 to hold. That's next support. I like it there. I'd be looking to add more. You got it, Richard. Look forward to it. I read about that. Yep. Tommy, you want DVAX? And while I'm waiting, I'll take ADA. And we're a little bit over. I'll make, if Tommy wants that last one, I'll make that the last one. We'll do ADA first. I'm getting penny stock here, right? This is penny stock. Hate penny stocks. Oh, this is not the right stock. ADAC. I typed in the wrong one. My apologies to you. How dare I? ADA. Is that not right? Hey, Denny. Good to see you. I'm not getting that. DraftKings? All right. That symbol's not coming up for me, ADA. Let's try it here. No. I don't get that symbol. All right. Last one up. DraftKings. Was that DRFT? What is DraftKings? DKNG. I was way off. They have warrants too. A very, very nice month. I mean, they were monkey hammered and they reversed right off of support. Nice chart. A little bit of selling at resistance, no shock. But we did recapture support at 35.65. Maybe we'll get a retest this week. That would be a good place to enter. Oh, I need to do Virgin Galactic. I forgot about that one. Well, having warrants, it means that they have the ability to exercise those warrants in the future for new shares. So it's just a way of raising. A lot of times when you get an IPO, you'll get a warrant that comes along with it and makes the IPO more attractive. And many times they expire worthless. They won't get exercised. NG. All right, so if we pull back, retest, good long entry point, stop loss right below. If we break out, good place to add more. Daily chart. Good chart. Very, very good chart. We've retested support multiple times. On Friday, it was like the pimp Mac Daddy of retests. I mean, we undercut all the other retests, reversed to closing of the highs of the day. This is very, very nice. We may not get a retest again. I think that there's a very good chance we just break out here. But just keep in mind, note these volume bars up here, how they stand out. They protrude out from these volume bars. What that tells you is that there's a lot of sellers up here. So me, if we do break out, I wouldn't chase it. I'd wait for the pullback and a retest of the breakout point, and I would add there. Because if you chase it, you run the risk of buying up and into all these sellers. I mean, and this is not even where the sellers begin. I mean, they really begin here. So you don't have a ton of upside before you run into a wall of sellers. So I would wait for the breakout, look for the retest of the breakout point, nibble there, and then once we get through, you start breaking out to new all-time highs. It's clear blue skies, no overhead supply above. All right, folks. Yeah, smash that like button, please. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. What am I on? Twitter. And subscribe to the channel. And everybody have a really profitable trading week. Stay safe. Thanks for spending some time with me on your Sunday evenings. And be well.